Alright, welcome back to CryptoHarmonics this Friday, 1st of September, beginning a new month, and I think the cryptos like that too because they're all on the move. Everything's sky high going up, and some of these for good reason. Some of these good coins are really starting to pop up. You know, it's one of those things in a, kind of free market there where the best coin wins. The cream kind of starts floating to the top, and so you're beginning to see some of these really good coins like Dash and Litecoin, even Ethereum Classic and certain things like that, really begin to see them start showing their dominance and showing how good they are. And so that's one of the things I want to look at real quick. First things, before we get into the charts here, I just want to show you guys one thing. I started this Telegram just a couple days ago. You say August 30th. And one of the things that I made it private, so I have to post like a private link in the video, but it's not like a paid thing or anything like that. It's anybody can join if they want to. I just wanted to make sure it wasn't just like anybody on Telegram could just pop in there and be like, hey, how do I work my Exodus wallet? That's not, I don't want to be support for any of that stuff. I just want to do like technical analysis and different things like that and find good patterns, find some good trades. You can see August 30th, I posted this and I was just like, come on ETC, and let's see if this pops up. You'll just click on this. Whoops, I did it twice. You just click on that and it should pop up. Take that one off. And you'll be able to see this picture and what I was kind of looking at. And then, well, let's see where it's at today. Let's see. Let's go back over here. ETC is... that was on Bitcoin. And I'm kind of slowing down here. Okay, here we go. So, and you can see we were looking at it right around here. As you guys know, I got in, I was looking at it right around here too. And this line also, this whole area, very long ETC, and you can see we had a nice pop up today. So I think it's just helpful to have, I post like a video or two every week, but I can't go through all the charts and I can't keep up to date with, all these little moves and different things that happen and show you, why. Like, I'm going to run through a few of these things, but that's really more for something like this, that I can just throw this in there real quick and be like, hey guys, I'm looking for a pop on ETC. One of these things I'll put it out, said if Bitcoin doesn't hit 5K in the next week, I'll eat my shoe. That was yesterday or 2 days ago. I was sitting at about 4,500 when I posted that, and we're up to about 48, maybe 49 now. Looking for 5K. A lot of these cryptos really like even round psychological numbers, so it will attract to those points and usually suck back down pretty good. I posted that missed trade. We may look at that real quick. I had a sweet bounce on it and it just missed it. I mean, just barely. We'll look at it. It's painful. It's painful to see. And then I posted LTC BTC. Let's go Litecoin. Just Litecoin's just smashing it. So anyways, if you guys are interested, just it's free. I'm not hitting you up for anything. Just come in there and you don't have to talk. You can just follow along. But if you have questions on certain patterns, I'm not going to do like in-depth teaching on this. I'm going to reserve that for the Slack at a later date. Slack is just better set up for that stuff. But this is just a good, like, hey guys, this is what I'm looking at right now. Hey, I'm thinking about this. I'm thinking about getting out here, instead of just following, a video once or twice a week. So if you guys are interested in that, that's cool. If not, you can just follow along the videos. One thing, just recapping on ETC here. I'm looking for this target right here. 45% gains. That's ridiculous. On Bitcoin, not on dollar, on Bitcoin. It's crazy. This is the crypto world we're living in right now. Let's look at Bitcoin real quick and see. Yeah, we're at 48.17. This is on Bitfinex. And I got a line there at 5K. I'll be taking a little bit off. Let's look at Litecoin. If you look at Litecoin on the dollar, right, it's just crushing it. It's at 80 bucks. and it touched 81 just a little while ago. I've been taking portions off, right? So one of the things that happened was, you guys know from previous videos, I was looking for $67 Litecoin. But, and this is something that this is a reason why I was like, man, I need to start like a Telegram or something like that, because things are so dynamic with the targets. And I know I always say that, but they really are. They can change. And I'll show you, just from having years and years of chart watching, one of the things I've picked up on is a lot of times when it'll make this huge run up to your target and fall just short of it and suck back down, and then it'll turn back down a little bit, and then it just kind of comes back up, it'll blow straight through your target. And you can see on this candle, it touched this, and then the next day it kind of came down and it just blew straight through it, right? So when it did this on this day right here, it sucked back down, came all the way down to, you know, 58 or something like that. I was like, okay, when this thing goes back up, you know, I'm not taking anything off at 67. So what I did was I took some off at 70, just a nice psychological number there, right? And then I took some off earlier just now, and I'll show you why. I'm not taking it off into fiat, I'm taking it off into Bitcoin. So it seems more logical to look at the LTC BTC chart for that, right? So I made this chart for my dad to kind of explain why a few weeks ago it was better, because he was like, well, should I buy Bitcoin? Should I buy Litecoin? Well, why it was better to buy Litecoin a couple of weeks ago, and we talked about this in a video, right? We looked at three: Dash, ETC, and LTC, and I'm going to show you guys at the end of the video how much we actually made on that profit, which is awesome. I'm not talking about dollar amount or my personal account, I'm talking about percentage wise, if you guys were following along. Okay, so LTC undervalued at this point, right? My first target is up to here. We hit that within a few days, and then we had this nice run up, and I actually had my second target. If you guys remember, I had a second target right around here. Well, it did the same thing. It went right up to it and then failed and came back down and then made a push back up. I was like, well, that's going to blow through. I need to move my target up. So I moved my target up to right here, and just within the last hour or so, took a good chunk of my Litecoin off and put it back into Bitcoin. Right? But I'm not done there. I'm not completely out of Litecoin. I think Litecoin is going into the triple digits. And if you see it running up here, right? I put this little nice thing, what the F, Litecoin in triple digits here. Triple digits in dollars, right? So we need to specify that. But why is that? Well, it's 0.02 of a Bitcoin. If you see on the right-hand side there, that's the price. 0.02 of a Bitcoin if it comes up to here, right? And what I'm assuming is, Bitcoin is hovering around the $5,000 mark when it hits this. Well, what is 0.02 of 5,000? That's $100. So at this point right here, we're looking for $100 Litecoin, which if you go back to the Litecoin USD chart and just kind of zoom out a little bit, you see is not that crazy. I mean, it could make a power move up overnight. Gosh, we're back up to 80.32. So it can make a power move overnight. Korea, China gets involved. Japan, they're like, hey, let's pump this thing, and it touches 100. And I guarantee you, when it touches 100, I'd be shocked if it doesn't suck back down into the 80s like within an hour. So that's just my guess, though. I don't know. Either way, I'm taking. You know, it's hard for me to say to take all off because I love Litecoin long term, just the actual coin. But trading wise, I'll take my trading profits there, if that makes any sense to you guys. Another thing that we were looking at was Ethereum on the USD. And man, it's just hard to be, oh, that's Ethereum Classic. Golly, Ethereum Classic is crushing it. So what I did was, if I could just like brag on myself just for a second, I'm so sorry. One of the things I did when I hit this, where was it? Oh, when it hit 70, that's right. When Litecoin hit $70, I was like, man, I've made a good chunk of change. This was the other day. And was it yesterday? I think it was 2 days ago, actually. It was around 70, and I threw a chunk over into, I put a chunk half over into Bitcoin and half over into Ethereum Classic. And boy, am I so glad I did, because that sucker is up just from like 2 days ago. Well, you guys saw that post in the Telegram. That's when I did it. I think that was 2 days ago. 35% right now on the dollar. That's just crazy. That's crazy. So getting really good returns. Let's see. You just got to know where to move stuff around. You're not going to be right every time, and you can get moving too many things around and get too busy. Sometimes it's good to just sit and hold. But I like to switch back and forth because I have a system that allows me to do that. If you don't have a system in place to do that and you're just guessing and trying to ride the next pump and dump, you'll actually be one of the few people that ends up losing money in cryptocurrencies right now. I know that's so rude, but it's so true. Oh, here's the picture. Yeah, Ethereum with Bitcoin. That's what I was looking at, and then it made this move. So I'm looking for that first target on Ethereum Classic. I don't know. You know, I'm not sure if it's going to hit my second target. That's such a strong move. I'm definitely going to take some off here back into Bitcoin, but I'm also going to be looking for this move up here for my second target. So you can take half off here and half off there, right? And you go in between this and find out, you know, you made 63, 64, 65%. Really good returns there. So, okay, hope that helps. Ethereum was the other kind of major one I've been watching, and it's hit my, I went on Poloniex, and you know, you can only short like relative to Bitcoin. So I could like short Ethereum Bitcoin chart, but for me, if I go over there and look at that one, that's telling me a different story, right? I've got this like actual trend up going on Ethereum. I don't know if I want to bet against that right now. I do want it to come down into here for me to take a long trade, but it's starting to look more and more like it won't. And like I said before, I think Ethereum is going to outpace Bitcoin in the month of September. And so if that's true, I might just be looking for a little play here. We can go down to the 4 hours, right? And this is a play you guys can use to find you, and I like to find another pattern, right? So I have if I look at this and scrunch this down here, I've got, let's see if I have a pattern. I don't even know if I do. This is the first time for me doing that. That's almost down into that 618, which would be a Gartley for me. So I'd be looking for, get this guy out of here. I'd be looking for a 786. So that right there might be my new target for Ethereum relative to Bitcoin. 0.0, right on 0.07. And you can see we've had a little accumulation there, so it might happen. It might happen. I'd like it to come down there, and then we're riding Ethereum in the month of September, hoping to make some good profits. Because if you go back to Ethereum on the dollar and look at it and say, okay, you know, we're about to be making all-time new highs on Ethereum if it doesn't break down. I have this pattern here that says to short, right? But I can't actually short Ethereum relative to the dollar on the stuff that I have. If you guys know of a way to do it, listen, there's so much stuff, and this is such new territory. We almost need each other kind of looking out for different things. Investing is no doubt a team sport. So, guys, I do not by any means know everything about all the cryptocurrency trading and even all the platforms. I have a few that I trade on, but if you guys know something, let me know. But anyways, okay, let's look at that Mysterium trade real quick, and then let's look at PIVX, and I think we'll be done. Oh, we might look at Doge too. Might have to look at Doge. Okay, if you guys were following on the last video, it was exactly a week ago. You know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, we're sitting around here or something. I said, you know, hey, this might have been a good entry, but I was looking for a little bit further down, and this line was my target, right? Look at that pop right there. And when you see it, when it does that, you know, I should have just gone long this one. I'm gonna be honest, I didn't catch this one because if you if you zoom in, you'll actually see okay, there we go. You can see how close I actually was to the line, but I didn't get filled. Those happen, those hurt. Those are almost worse than losing trades, because it's like, oh man, you know, it's almost worse knowing you were right about something and then not getting the payout. So you see it immediately next day hit my first target, and it's gone on its way. If it continues sucking up like that, I wouldn't be surprised for a bullish day tomorrow up into the second target. But like I said, I'm not going to chase trades. I'm not in it. But if you guys are in it and you got in it, cool. You know, you might can ride it up to here or longer term than that. Okay, let me look at PIVX. Okay, guys, here's PIVX. Man, don't doubt the targets, right? Look at that thing. I'm just not like willy-nilly like going by after the fact, and I hope you guys like are watching this. I'm not, you know, if somebody's new and they're like, well, this guy's just going putting lines after the fact, anybody can do that. I promise I'm not. I have a reason for everywhere that I get in and everywhere I get out, and that's the only way, in my opinion, to trade, because otherwise you're just kind of gambling, right? So this is awesome. I hit my second target on PIVX. I am completely out of PIVX at the moment and back into Bitcoin. I made, let's see what, I'm not going to add this in the total. We had an exact entry on this one, if you guys remember. Okay, so half off there, right? And then half off here. That's about in between. That is 121% more Bitcoin, not dollars. I made 120% on this one trade. Let's say I put in 1 Bitcoin for this trade, right? Then that means I now have, what would that be? That'd be 2.2 Bitcoin sitting in my, wherever I have that, Bittrex, or I think this is on Bittrex. And now have 2.2 Bitcoin sitting there. I hope my math is right on that. You guys can double check me on that. But you know, with relatively, here was my risk, right? Here was my risk right here. 33, 34, call it 35%. I could have lost 35% of that Bitcoin, but I was willing to risk that, and it paid off big time. And now I have 2.2 Bitcoin sitting there. Now, let me stress this, while Bitcoin was going up. That's huge. This is the entire reason why, and I'm going to make an actual face-to-face video on this, of why I left Forex and futures trading and am trading cryptocurrencies. But that is the key reason right there. Bitcoin did not crash while this went up. Bitcoin actually went up while this went up. So that's a win-win if I've ever heard of it. So anyways, let's see. Okay, let's look at the 3 real quick and see what our earnings were for the month of August. Well, you know what? Instead of doing that on here, I might just save that for the Telegram, because I need to go through and look. Like, I'd like to add this PIVX one, but I don't want to just show you my wins. I want to show you my losses too. You guys remember we had Coin. That was a losing trade. Man, did we have? I know I had a couple, 2 or 3 losers this month, but man, the gains far outweigh it, and that's just the way to do it. So I'll save that for the Telegram and just put that in there, maybe later today or tomorrow. Anyways, okay, guys. One last thing I did. If you guys remember, I took this Doge trade at 40 Satoshis. Told you guys not to do it. And that was terrible advice. It went up to 50 so far. I actually I took off like a little bit at like 48, but my main target is not this now. My main target is 55 right there. So that's my target. You can see it kind of bumps up into this. So a lot of times it'll bump up into that area and suck back. So I'm looking for 55. I'm holding my Doge, man. I'm holding my Doge. Okay, Doge to the moon, right? Probably not, but at least to 55. So, Alright guys, well that's all my trading, that's my update. Hope to keep you guys updated. We got flooded out here big time in Houston, so everything's kind of shut down. We're kind of in recovery mode. I personally didn't get flooded in our home, which is awesome, but like every other person seems like they got flooded. So there's a lot going on in the city of Houston right now. So, but I will keep you guys updated. Join the Telegram, and I'll see you guys later.